Good Monday morning. We are in April. We got a full weekend of baseball under our belt. We've got a national championship game. We are hurling towards the playoffs in the NHL and the NBA, and this is Boomer and Geo Live Week. It is game week, baby. It is Patriots week around here. This is it's Eagles week around here as we get ready for a big Friday night show at White Eagle Hall. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Good morning, G. You know, it used to be called Steeler Week where I was from when we used to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, you know, if you notice something on our desk here, right in front of Geo there, you can see that Geo's weigh-in went really, really well on Saturday morning. And, you know, I texted you and I was waiting because I didn't say anything on social media.
Right.
And why was that? They don't cover it for social media or it's just something that is... You know,
well, it's between us type of thing. And if you asked me, I was going to tell you. But if you didn't, I was going to surprise you with it this morning. So that was one of the things.
I know what you put into it. I know exactly what you put into it. And I love the wooden trophy that's sitting in front of you that says 2023 biggest loser competition champion.
Yep.
And it's got it's got a scale on the top of it, of what looks like would be in the middle of a scale.
Yep.
And then also has the tape measure wrapped around it. And it's just a very funny-looking trophy. So I know it meant a lot to you. We've been through 3 months of hell with you, just so you know that.
Well, thank you for the support because all you did was listen to me just go on and on and on. And I know you didn't, like you had enough by like 6 weeks ago, but you still sat there and you listened as I was talking to you about percentages of what I'm eating and can I get to here and how much weight I lost and everything. So it was so close. Jim Note, who was the guy who won it last year, came in at 19.89% of his weight loss.
Now, did he go first or second?
No, he actually weighed in first before me.
Okay.
So, and he was shocked. And then I came in at 20.02%. And he didn't believe it so much so that he got down on the ground to look at the scale to make sure that the reading was correct. So there was some drama there. But
well, there's been a lot of drama in these Sable competitions that you've been a part of since you've moved there. I mean, you had a championship trophy basically taken out of your hands.
That's right, yes.
On the golf course.
That is correct. It was Thanksgiving morning, and I think that's what really inspired me, both getting in shape for the bike tour coming up and that, because the feeling of getting the trophy ripped out of my hands I'll never forget, so that's why I wanted to win this one. And Sal Graziano, the guy who ripped the trophy out of my hands, who was riding with us in the bike tours, his brother Chris, who ran this thing, and what a great commissioner he was. He made sure everything was perfect, all the ducks in a row, and handed me the trophy because he knew I had won. So, yeah, no, I felt great, man. Saturday was one of the best days I've had in a long time.
Yeah, it was a big moment. And you were able to go out to dinner for Saturday night, which is even better.
Exactly. I told you, this is the closest I think I'm ever going to get to the Vikings winning the Super Bowl. Like, the feeling that I thought I would feel when they won is the feeling that I had. And then coming home, and I didn't tell Gina, and then Sabrina and Gina were sitting there waiting at the door, looking out the driveway. I didn't call them on the way home, and I just pulled the trophy out, held it over my head, and they were flipping out. It was awesome. So,
all right, well, good. So congratulations. So now we're back to normal.
Yeah, that's right. Back to normal.
And it comes at a very good time because we have Boomer and Geo live on Friday night.
Yep.
Certainly can't wait for that at White Eagle Hall over there in Jersey City. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. Now, coming through this weekend, a lot of great things in sports have happened this weekend. I would generally say that both the Mets and the Yankees are off to good starts. They both won their first series, and things look good. And quite frankly, that Kodai Senga ghost pitch was fun to watch yesterday.
Yes, yeah.
The home run by Stanton was fun to watch yesterday. Johnny Brito was fun to watch yesterday. Anthony Volpe has gotten off to a great start in terms of just impacting the game in different ways. He's got a hit, of course, but he's got 3 stolen bases. He's playing pretty flawless shortstop. Things, in the Yankee world have got to be pretty good, especially when Stanton and Judge are both hitting home runs. And then of course, there are the little thing that I like to call the Knicks. And since Julius Randle got hurt against the Miami Heat, I believe it was, they have come on now, and they have won 4 in a row. So they beat Houston when they came home, and they had to beat Houston. And then they win the next 3 without Julius. And they didn't even have RJ yesterday.
Right.
So all I can tell you is that when you watch it, it's just a different brand of basketball. It's more movement. It's more running. It's more athleticism. There's really nobody stopping anything. it's actually fun to watch. Now, I know that there are people out there, we got to have Julius. And, yeah, I guess it would mean a lot to go against the Cavaliers. And when they beat the Cavaliers the other night, it was like, wow, that is a statement victory.
Yeah, I agree. And I was one of those people that said that even though Julius Randle has got his flaws, if they want to win that series, that first-round series, they are going to need him, and they're going to need him playing at the level he's played for most of this year. But I don't know if that's right anymore. Now, I know that the playoffs are a different intensity, and the last time we saw Julius Randle, he was not good in the playoffs. The intensity that he had ended up working out negatively for him. But, of course, clinching the playoff spot, which is awesome, which we knew was going to happen, but still just making sure that they're in there is great. And I'm not so sure if that Julius Randle injury is going to hurt as much as I originally thought after watching him play like this.
I told you it's going to be more movement, I know they tend to be small.
Yeah.
I will say, who's the under-radar player for the Knicks?
Well, could be any number of guys.
No, there's one. There's one specific.
Mitchell Robinson?
No.
Quentin Grimes?
Yes, there you go. Okay. Quentin Grimes. So he's the under-radar player. Nobody talks about him. Nobody says anything about him. And obviously has a huge game yesterday. And probably because RJ was not there, so he had a few more opportunities. I'm not really sure. But all I know is that It's just, it looks like a different team. It looks like a young, athletic, high-flying team. How far they go, I don't know. But these last 3 games, especially the one in Cleveland, I mean, you're supposed to beat the Wizards at home. But, the last one in Cleveland was just, it was great.
Yeah, it makes you think. Now, I feel like these guys really do like Julius, and I know that he's gotten in the face of Emmanuel quickly recently, and they said there was no issue, but I mean, it almost feels like they're freed in a way. The way they play.
Right? I know that's like everybody's getting a shot. Everybody's, I don't know. It just,
we'll see. It looks
good to me. And I figured, that, you know how I feel about Julius Randle. I wanted to give him another chance after the All-Star game and the come-to-Jesus moment that supposedly he had, and then he had just fallen back right into his old habits, here in the last couple weeks. And unfortunately gets hurt. And I just feel like it has lifted a dead weight off the team, like in the way that they're playing and the way that everybody's getting involved. And, of course, they're making shots, which is obviously the key here. But, man, oh, man, it's just that they just look different.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to discount how important he's been to this team, though, this year. I mean, he's been their leading scorer. He's been a huge part of the fact that they are getting in the playoffs again and they're going to be a 5 seed and they're out of the play-in. I mean, I don't want to discount any of that, but also what is a fact that these last number of games is they look great. They do. So, I mean, just because the team was really, really good with him doesn't mean that they can't be really, really good without him, which is something that I thought wasn't possible. I thought they'd be okay without him, but not really good without him.
Jalen Brunson's really good.
Yeah, of course.
And even Josh Hart had kind of a quiet day yesterday offensively, but still does a lot of little things. And the intensity that he brings is what he always talks about. I mean, these have been 2 really great pickups for the Knicks. How far they go, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, don't you feel like they got to win this series?
Of course I do, yeah. I mean, like, we want them to win the series. What will be interesting to see is when Julius Randle comes back. Remember, they said, so we're about a week since he got hurt, so we got another week for another evaluation. Mm-hmm. And then by that time, the season will be over. I think they have 4 more games left. And they have 4 games that they should be able to win if they play the way that they've been playing the last 3 games. Man, Thibodeau's got to be like, what is that? What's going on? And I know what's going on. We all know what's going on. And even Obi Toppin had a good game yesterday. But I'm not saying that he is going to replace a double-double every night.
No.
All I'm saying is that it's a free-flowing. Nobody's looking to give him the ball to go one-on-one.
Right. And when that caller called up and said, well, Obi Toppin can't replace the production, this was on Friday, of Julius Randle, it said, well, it's not really that you're looking for. What you're looking for is
what we just seen.
Yeah, the other guys to step up and replace the production. It doesn't have to be a 1-for-1 situation. It has to be a collective effort. And so far it's been good. The thing that just concerns me about the overall season, even though this has been a very good season and I didn't think they'd be good enough to get the 5 seed this year. I never thought that Jalen Brunson would be this good. I knew it was a good signing. I didn't think it was going to be one of the best that they've ever made. Is how do you feel about the season if they end up losing to the guy that you should have had in the offseason and the team that he's actually on in Donovan Mitchell? How do you feel about this season if that's the end result?
Well, don't let it happen. I mean, you just beat him the other night, and he had a great game, just like Jalen Brunson had a great game. It's like tit for tat. The two of those guys the other night it was really amazing. The intensity was great.
Yeah.
So that coupled with the Nets winning 3 in a row, and the Nets all of a sudden looking like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the best time. This is the best time of year to be playing at your best. Whether or not they go into the second or third round, only time will tell us that. But I do like the way that they looked. I really do. It's a completely different look to me, and I think that's the fun part of all of this, to see how far they can go without Julius if he doesn't come back.
And I love the fact that the Mavericks are just totally tanking and just a disaster. And I mean, as much as I'm not a Nets guy, the fact that the Nets are going to be playing meaningful basketball in the postseason and the Dallas Mavericks are just kaput is just great.
Yeah,
now,
the Phoenix Suns are playing good, though.
Yeah, I know. But that's different. I mean, Kevin Durant, we don't like Kevin Durant. We really don't like Kyrie Irving. But yes, the Suns are going to be dangerous. The Suns might go in and come out of that conference because it's a little bit weaker than normal. But the fact that Kyrie went to the Mavericks and they just went right down the drain is just wonderful.
It's perfect. Yeah. So it actually fits a whole thing. Now for the hockey teams, interesting. The Islanders have lost their last 2, and they are right there on the cusp. They got Pittsburgh on their ass, and they got Florida on their ass. And they, too, only have a handful of games left. And, they've got to get their act together. They have got to win. I think they got to win at least 3 games in order to make it. And they got Pittsburgh right on their ass with 1 less game being played, and Florida right on their ass with 1 less game played. Florida, I think, is behind them by 2 points. Pittsburgh behind them by 1.
Yeah, so the Islanders now have, that's 4 games left.
Okay.
And there are 5 games left for the Panthers.
And 5 for Pittsburgh.
And, yes, 5 for Pittsburgh.
And, neither one of those teams have been playing great either.
Yeah.
But these last 2 losses against Tampa and Carolina just basically now put them, right in the sights of those 2 teams behind them. And quite frankly, they want the 1 wild card. They do not want the 2 wild card. The 2 wild card gets Boston. The 1 wild card most likely is going to get Carolina, even though Carolina, Jersey, and the Rangers are still fighting for number 1 in the Metro. But I think it's going to really come down to Carolina, of course, and Jersey.
Yeah, and the Islanders have played the Bruins tough in the past. This particular Bruins team seems to be better than the other ones we have seen.
Let me tell you, they're flying, man. They are
60-12 is just insanity.
It is. They're a great, great hockey team. They are physical. They have scorers. They have great goaltending. They have top-end defense. I mean, they basically do not have a weakness, and they made a couple trades at the trade deadline that just added to the grittiness of the overall organization. So they are going to be a bitch to go against. And the one thing, if the Islanders do get the 1 wild card, then they'll stay with the Devils and the Rangers. So
yeah, right. The winner of that series, if the Islanders win,
yes,
that'd be something, right?
Right. Well, then you'd either have the Rangers and the Devils against the Islanders.
Yeah.
I mean,
if they win their first round series.
Well, the Rangers would be against the Devils.
Right. So, right.
The point being, if they get the number 1 and they end up playing Carolina, I think that they could play tough against Carolina. I think they're going to be a lot of 2-1 games, just like we saw, yesterday.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's a better chance of them beating Carolina than I could be wrong, but much better chance of them beating Carolina than being the wild card number 2 and having to play Boston.
Well, sure. I mean, I think that's probably the conventional wisdom with the season that Boston has had, and Carolina seems to have issues in the postseason, even when they have good regular seasons. So yeah, that's a little bit scary. It's getting a little bit dicey.
But this is dicey time right now, man. And how about San Diego State?
Yeah, I mean, that was as pure of a jumper to win a game as you could possibly have in that moment. That was a great moment. UConn's just been running through everybody. You would expect them to end up continuing on that run. I have not been into this tournament as much as I have been in years past, but I will be rooting for UConn because of the local angle of it. And I know some people that are UConn fans and just the East Coast and everything else, but yeah, I mean, it feels like UConn's going to roll. It just feels like they're going to continue to roll. This is their year. This is their championship.
They have steamrolled their way to the championship.
Right.
And none of these games have even been close.
Yeah, I know. And that's why you think it's like a little scary going into the championship game because it almost feels like too easy for them. But I still think, and I haven't even looked at the spread at this yet tonight, but I'm assuming that it's going to be at least
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 6, maybe 5.5.
I mean, in a championship game, that's pretty, heavy, but let's 7.5.
So San Diego State has had like this little magical run. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're a good team. They're a 5 seed.
Yeah, they got like 5 35-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly. It's like college basketball. What? There's no such thing as college basketball. What they should do is they should just make it a minor league sport. Pay everybody. They don't have to go to class, and they have a scholarship waiting for them when their years are over, and then they can go to class then.
That's kind of what it is now.
Yeah,
right?
It is kind of like that.
It's kind of like that already.
Or if you don't go to class, go to the transfer portal.
Perfect. That's all you need to do. Transfer portal, nil money, and go do what you got to do. All right, Boomer and Geo on the Fan and CBS Sports Network just getting started. Jerry Recco joins us in a couple of minutes. Got a lot of baseball to get to as well. Boomer's got something for you. We'll come right back right after this.